Welcome to Best Buds Gardening. I'm Julie. Today, let's talk about how to grow Hale's Best Cantaloupe, seed to harvest. Hale's Best really isn't a cantaloupe. In fact, most of what we know in the United States as cantaloupes are muskmelons. But for the purpose of today's video, we'll call it a cantaloupe. If you want to get a head start on the growing season, a few weeks before your last frost date, you can germinate your seeds in a wet paper towel. Place it inside a baggie so it doesn't dry out and leave it in a warm spot for 2 to 3 days. I have some little cups with drainage holes on the bottom and I've labeled what goes in them. These are filled with compost. So a few days after we've put our paper towel in the baggie, we can unfold it and we will see that our cantaloupe seeds are germinating nicely. So I'm just going to make a little hole, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch deep with my finger, plop one of the seeds in the hole, and I'll do the same with the other cup. Take a little seed, look at that nice white root, plop him in the hole, and just gently cover them up. I don't know what we'll do with this guy. We'll stick him back in the bag for now. Then give them a nice little drink and continue to keep them warm for the next couple of days until they hatch out of the soil. After another few days, our cantaloupe seedlings are up out of the soil. If it's warm enough, they can start enjoying some sunny afternoons outside. Even a light frost will kill your cantaloupe plants. So after danger of frost has passed and the soil has warmed to at least 70 degrees, I'm going to plant my little cantaloupe seedlings in this huge pot. These plants are about 1 foot apart and I'm planting them in very nice compost so I won't have to fertilize them. My plants have been hardened off and I'm just going to lightly tuck my cantaloupe seedlings into my pot of soil. Don't forget to keep them well watered. 1 week later, our cantaloupe seedlings have their first true leaves. 2 weeks later, our cantaloupe plants look like this. About a month later, our cantaloupe plants look like this. Now we can call them cantaloupe vines. And there are blossoms everywhere. This is a female cantaloupe blossom. See the little fuzzy baby cantaloupe sitting right under the blossom? Female blossom. And this is a male blossom. There is no fuzzy cantaloupe underneath him. If you don't have any bees in your neighborhood, you're going to have to self-pollinate these. So here's a nice female blossom under this leaf. We can pick a male blossom, pull his little petals off to reveal the very center of that flower. That's where your pollen is hanging out. But if it's over 80 degrees, that pollen won't be viable. You might have to do this in the morning or in the morning on the weekends. We take the center of the male blossom and we wipe that onto the center of the female blossom. You can also transfer pollen with a small paintbrush. Any cantaloupes that were successfully pollinated will start to look like this after a few days. Here's another little guy over here that was successfully pollinated. Doesn't look much like a cantaloupe yet. You'll notice over the course of several days and weeks, it will begin to look more like a cantaloupe. After about a month, your cantaloupe will start to look a little bit more like a cantaloupe. See the netting that's starting to form? So how do you know when a cantaloupe is ripe? Well, number 1, it should slip right off the vine when you pick it. No cutters needed. Number 2, should be a nice buff golden color. Number 3, it should smell fruity when you walk by it. Just hold the melon up to your nose. If you smell cantaloupe or apricot, it's probably ripe. Way number 4, and this is the best way. This is the bottom of the cantaloupe, the end that was not attached to the stem. It should have some give. When you push right here, it should be springy. It should push in, spring back out. This cantaloupe isn't doing that. It's still pretty hard on the bottom, so it's not ripe yet. After waiting a couple more days, now I can push that bottom end in and it springs back out. Now the cantaloupe is ripe. Cantaloupes like full sun, warm weather, and a lot of water. For extra large melons, you can prune off the growing tips of your vines. Happy muskmelon growing! Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to see more gardening videos.